Bright QT. Every student matters.
Let us discuss it back exercises now. Okay. Science, true daughter of old time thou art, who alterest all things with thy peering eyes. Why pressed thou thus upon the poet's heart, vulture whose wings are dull realities? How does the poet present science in the first line? In the first line, he calls science as the daughter of old time. Pick out a verb and a phrase that relates science and the vulture. So what are the phrases or the verbs that connect science and vulture? Peering eyes and wings. So these are the two words or phrases, I would say, that strike a connection between science and vulture. What do dull realities refer to? According to the poet, dull realities mean that because of science, logic can be found in everything, and because of this logic, things around people have become very boring. Okay? Hast thou not torn the Naiad from her flood, the elfin from the green grass and from me, the summer dream beneath the tamarind tree? So the poet appears to accuse science of having displaced people, of having taken away people from their home. What are these people and what were their places? He talks about Naiad, the water fairy taken away from water, elfin from the grass, and the poet himself has been taken away from the tamarind tree. What is the possible outcome of the summer dream? So, when the poet would enjoy his summer dream beneath the tamarind tree, what do you think would he derive out of it? He would get happiness. He would get a wider creativity, and that would enable him to write even better. Identify the couplet and the rhyme scheme. So what is the couplet over here? The elfin from the green grass and from me, the summer dream beneath the tamarind tree. So what is the rhyming scheme? AA. So the poet has used the rhyming scheme in the couplet. What is the impression you form of the poet from this sonnet? Does this match your own image of a poet? Now, poet is obviously somebody who believes in living in the world of imagination, for whom inspiration is derived from nature, from fairies, from, sky, from the smallest and the most beautiful things that can be seen around you. Here, through this poem, we can very well make out that the poet is very angry with science. He is blaming science for having taken away the pleasure that people would derive from looking at the things around them. And so, I believe that yes, I do agree and I do accept this entire figure, this entire image of the poet that this poem has created, because such is a poet. Such is the beauty of poetry that it will always make you travel from one place to the other. And when you have to enjoy a poem, you have to leave aside the logic and science from it. Does this poem trouble you? Explain your reason. So, do you think the poem was troublesome? Now, going in line with what the poet Edgar Poe has said, I think the only troubling thing that I found, in the poem was the fact that all these fictitious characters, Naiad, Hamadryad, the elfin, these are all the fictitious characters, the fairies, that we as kids always thought to be true. Going to the forest, being near to a tree and believing that there was a fairy inside that. These were all the sources of unending joy and happiness to us. But now, because of the intervention of science, we know that this is all untrue, this is all false. And because of this reality, we have certainly become a little disheartened, we have become a little disturbed. And therefore, I agree with the poet and would say that yes, science has taken away a lot of joys from the lives of the people, especially the kids. So with this, my dear students, we come to the end of this poem. We've explained to you this sonnet. The back exercises are discussed with you. I hope the poem was clear to you all. I shall see you all in my next lecture.